What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk to you about your Part 107 license. So the FAA is really stickler. If you run a YouTube channel and you want to put your drone footage on there, now keep in mind the drone is an excellent source for B-roll footage. Now, if you want to put that B-roll footage in your YouTube videos, you know, there's been a thin gray line, a very thin gray line about YouTube channels, even if you're not monetized yet like me, but there's been a very thin line between that and needing your Part 107 license. Now, I want to make something crystal clear. I just passed my 107, so that opens up a whole brand new door, and I'm going to be making a video on another topic later, probably today, actually. But the fact of the matter is, whenever you're on a YouTube channel and you're uploading content, that means your goal is to grow the channel. With that being said, if your goal is to grow the channel with that B-roll footage, it's no longer strictly for recreation. Keep that in mind. Once you're flying a drone, like for anything other than enjoyment and recreation and just flying around, zipping around, once those flights gravitate from enjoyment to a purpose, like a driven purpose, at that point, you need to go ahead and have your commercial pilot license, your FAA Part 107 certification. If you do not have that, get prepared for the FAA to contact you, call you, email you, and probably harass you for about $100,000. So unless you have $100,000 just laying around in your pocket or under a mattress or something, and you're flying your drone, let me tell you right now, from my experience, I didn't get fined, but I was walking that gray line, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that because I know, like, smash like if you're like me, and you don't really have that option, or if you can't afford a $100,000 fine for just enjoying a little bit of B-roll footage with your drone. But anyways, I want to give you a couple pointers to pass your 107 test. Now, Tony and Chelsea Northrop, I watched their video 3 times. It's about 1 hour and 45 minutes long. I watched that video 3 times, and then Katia's Buzz. I watched that video 3 times in succession. I watched one, then the other, one, then the other, one, then the other, during the course of 1 week. In 1 week, I was able to pass that FAA Part 107 license with 83%. 60 questions, and you need 70. So, or 70%. But anyways, so yeah, I passed, certified, waiting for their certificate to come in the mail, the license to come in the mail, whatever the case may be. They're going to email me a temporary one. But with that being said, as of April 2001, or 2021, excuse me. Forgot where I was for a second. But as of April 2021, the FAA sent out a whole slew of updates, new stuff, night flights, operating over people, remote ID. These things are absolutely on the test. And from my experience, the things that I was finding were, there was questions on sectional charts. Now you'll go in there, you can't take your cell phone into it. You can't bring anything into there other than yourself and your photo ID. They're going to give you a book. That book is going to have, it's the actual study guide, but that book is going to have all your sectional charts in there, and at the very front of it is going to have your legend. Just keep that in mind. So they're going to have the legend and all the sectional charts. Too easy. I got it, like, honestly, with as much studying as I was doing and cramming and even driving around town and whatnot, having to pick the kids up and whatnot, picking Wendy up from work. I was playing it in the vehicle over Bluetooth. Obviously not watching the video while driving, but you know, just like that whole subliminal thing, and I was able to pass it pretty well. Like, I had that information fresh in my head, and I listened to it at 1.5 times speed. The Tony and Chelsea Northrop video for their study guide. 1.5 times speed on the way to the airport, to take my exam, and all that information was fresh in my mind. You will see stuff on remote ID in your video, or on your exam. You will see stuff on the remote ID, nighttime operations. Basically, just make sure that you know if you're going to fly at night, you need to have anti-collision lights. And the lights that you have on your drone right now, from like straight out of the box, that's not going to hack it. So just know that right off the rip, that you're going to have to equip it. Remote ID. You are not going to be broadcasting. I'm going to say that again. You are not going to be broadcasting to other aircraft and like jamming up, because if you can imagine an airplane crossing over a beach and you've got 30 pilots flying their little sUAS across the beach and everything else, you can imagine how annoying that would be to a manned aircraft to get a whole bunch of bleeping or radars and stuff like that. So you're not going to be broadcasting. All it's going to do is let a pilot know that there is sUAS in the area for night. That's what I'm saying, remote ID. Operations over people. I want you to know right now, operations over people, what you're going to be talking about there is you cannot like stay suspended over people. Like, that's not okay. If you are going to be staying in flight and hovering and getting like that top down, or maybe you're hired to do some sort of a concert or whatever, and you want to do like that slow gimbal down while you're flying towards the stage over a crowd and everything else, everybody in that crowd needs to be fully aware that there's a drone flying over your head and getting footage. So keep that in mind also. Make sure anybody that's going to be in that footage knows that they're going to be in the footage. And so something else I wanted to reiterate, the only agency, the only entity that you report to, that you request authorization from, air traffic control, right? But the way to do that is through FAA. So like the Aloft or Before You Fly app, it'll give you the option to request authorization. Whenever you do that, it's through the FAA. The FAA is like kind of automated, and they talk to air traffic control, and they handle all that for you within minutes, which is outstanding news. However, if a sheriff's department shows up and you're like, hey, do you have authorization? That's a great line too. Obviously, you're going to want to cooperate as much as possible with them. But just a local Joe Schmo that's wandering around and they want to be nosy and be like, hey, what are you doing? Technically, they shouldn't be bugging you whenever you're flying, because, like, let's face it, you know, like that you have an aircraft in the air. And so if someone's bugging you whenever you're trying to be a pilot, like, that's not acceptable. So just keep that in mind. Always give way to manned aircraft. I'm not going to beat a dead horse with this video. I just wanted to give you quick tips. I did pass the 107, and I'm excited. I know I've been away from the video and the microphone for a while. Corona really kicked my ass, guys. So with that being said, like, you could probably hear it in my voice now. Like, we're all better now. You know what I mean? So, like, it's been a couple weeks, but I guess I'm one of those lucky chosen few that get to suffer the repercussions of that whole Rona. And, like, I don't know, maybe YouTube's going to demonetize this video before I'm even monetized, because I'm talking about Rona, but Rona sucks. So with that being said, again, Tony and Chelsea Northrop and Katia's Buzz, watch those in succession, one after another, for 3-4 days. And as long as you're not an idiot, you're going to pass your 107 license. Even if you are halfway an idiot, you're probably still going to pass it. Just keep in mind, once you get that license, I got to say this, like, just to get the elephant in the room, like, out there, just because you have that license doesn't mean that you're a badass pilot. Keep that in mind. You need to constantly be flying. You need to constantly have that thing in the air and improving your skill set. Otherwise, you're just going to be another statistic and crashing your drone everywhere. Knock on wood, I haven't crashed mine yet, but, you know, that's only a matter of time, because I do plan on getting FPV goggles. Speaking of which, and I know I keep on bouncing around, about to wrap this video up, but FPV, legally, if you're flying an FPV drone and you have those goggles on, right, you no longer have visual line of sight over your drone. That means legally, according to FAA, you need to have a visual observer, a spotter. You need to have someone that can have visual line of sight of your drone at all times, right? 500 feet below clouds, how many feet below the clouds, a lot of sectional chart stuff. Just know your sectional charts. I didn't have to do any of the phonetic alphabet, which is really easy anyway. Like, I was kind of hoping those were there because, like, after being in the Army, like, that's like second nature. I was going to be like, yeah. The first 20, 30 questions actually were like really quick. After that, like, I started second guessing myself. And matter of fact, the questions that I got wrong, I had right to begin with, and I second guessed myself and I changed the answer after I went back through. I was like, maybe. Make sure you stand out of their way too. Okay, right? But anyways, I'm gonna cut this video short. This is it for now. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. I'm still trying to get my voice back and everything else. If I start getting loud like this, yeah, see, I start squeak. I do sound like a squeak toy that's being chewed on by a pit bull. But hey, anyways, guys, it's good to be back. Great to be back in front of the camera. I'm gonna make another video real quick for Wednesday's little tip. So anyways, thanks again, guys. Go pass out 107 so you can fly too. I'm not going to give you all my secrets. You need to go study later.